Right, I'll be streaming, but it might only be for 30 minutes or so, simply because, as the title suggests, looks like I've got the man flu, or feels like I've got the man flu. So I'm achy, I feel nauseous. I've been oversleeping, but also still feel really tired. I was coughing quite a bit earlier, but I've taken some cough medicine, so that's at least kind of dampened that down. Bit of a sore throat and all that, but so I won't be on all that long. Hopefully it will be a good stream and it will at least be a bit entertaining for 30 minutes or so when I'm on. But yeah, I felt like coming on just because at the moment there's quite a lot of views on the videos, so I thought people might want to watch the stream. Don't forget to like the stream. That's annoying, Sober. I didn't have a flu jab this year, but I've had flu before, when I've had the jabs, and then other years I've not had the jabs and not had the flu. So I guess it's just a luck thing, isn't it, really, with flu? Because I think it depends, doesn't it? When you get the jab, you have to hope that the ones that are in the vaccine that year are the one that you might actually catch, because you can still be screwed and essentially end up catching a strain of flu which wasn't one in the vaccine. So don't forget to like the stream, everybody, because that seems to help it get shared. But yeah, YouTube sharing my videos more than normal at the moment. So I'm at about 40,000 views for the last 48 hours. So getting about 20k views a day at the moment, which is good. Because a lot of the time I end up getting like 15k views a day. Although going back a while ago, before YouTube changed all the algorithms, I'm pretty sure I used to get between 20 and 25k views with a lot less subscribers per day, because YouTube actually, shared my videos to my subs more. Yeah, so you were just really unlucky then, I guess, Sober, that you had, you actually had the vaccine essentially, and you still ended up getting a different strain. So, yeah, I've not done very much today at all. I was in bed way longer than I should have been, but that was just because I was essentially unconscious asleep. Got up. All I've been really doing is popping pills and drinking coffee. I've had a bit of food at least, even though I've not got any appetite. So, all right, Laser, hope you're all right. Yeah, hopefully I'll be all right for work tomorrow, because I've not had a single sick day there yet in over a year of working there. But, it's going to depend, I think. But I'm hoping after another night's sleep I should be well enough, because at least it's not the busy time of the year there now anymore. But the main thing is, am I a risk to infect other people? Because if you are, then you're not meant to actually be at work, are you? Right, Richard? But cheers, Laser. I'm sure I will. It's just one of those annoying things of, although I'd much rather have the flu this weekend than next weekend, because next Friday and Saturday is when I'm doing a panto performance. So obviously, if I was ill like that weekend, that would be absolutely horrible, because it means I'd be doing the panto regardless, because the show must go on, but I'd be sort of feeling like death throughout it. So I'd much rather be ill this week and then well next week. I just do a cleaning job in my house at the weekend, and then obviously like YouTube essentially almost like 7 days a week in terms of replying to comments and doing videos, filming stuff and all that, and obviously like live streams on all the days. But I do another job just to make more guaranteed income, because YouTube, you're totally at the mercy of Google's algorithms. What, the big civil defense one? Type in Soviet civil defense poster. I'm not in the mood today, I'm afraid, to help people search for things on eBay. Just because at the moment it's, I feel tired enough as it is. Evening, Stefan, or Stephen. My favourite's the Avon CT12. I actually did put that somewhere I can get it easily. I'm not going to put it on, but I put that here, so now anytime anybody asks about it on the stream, it's actually handy. Also, just funny, I installed this again earlier because I've been getting back into the Command & Conquer games, and what's really annoying is there's security protection on this that stops it running on modern computers. So I found like an unofficial fan patch that fixed that, but EA certainly don't do anybody any favors, do they, at not wanting to pirate their games when I know EA killed Westwood as well, but the fact that you literally have a legit copy of the game, it takes ages to install off the CD. You have to put in like 10 different CD keys for every game, and even then it's still got fucking DRM that stops you playing it. There you go. Avon CT12. That's my favourite gas mask. It's not the world's best mask, it's just my personal favourite out of all the ones I own. So, I'll get the filter on. The worst gas mask I have is the Chinese pewter one by a mile, just because it's too heavy to rubber. like the mask itself is too heavy for its own weight as soon as you put a filter on it because the rubber's too soft. And the straps are really, really badly designed because there's nothing. See, like these straps, obviously, they're held onto the mask essentially by being vulcanized to the rubber, and then the straps thread through properly. The Chinese one, it's basically like the straps are held on via friction. So what ends up happening is the straps, when you're tightening them, will just literally catapult off the mask, meaning that the mask won't be tight because the straps were clearly designed by somebody who probably shouldn't be allowed to breathe oxygen. Yeah, I've played all the Fallout games. Well, actually, I've not played... Is it Fallout Brotherhood of Steel? Which is the one everybody hates? I've played Fallout, the original one, Fallout 2, Fallout Tactics, 3, New Vegas, 4, and 76. And everybody hates 76 as well. I've actually not played 76 recently because I installed it. But then I saw there's a thing apparently where people can hack your account really easily if you log in. So I haven't actually logged in again in ages, just in case there was something like that. Laser gifted me that, so thank you to him. If you get it for free or cheap, 76 isn't too bad. Don't pay a lot for 76. I don't sleep in here, actually, but saying that, looking at your profile picture, fuck off, there you go. But yeah, so the CT12 is my favourite, but if somebody's seriously saying what happened to my room, I don't sleep in here. So it's a storage room, and that's convenient for making videos, isn't it, having all the stuff available? Yeah, it's weird, Richard, because my views are much higher than normal. But I was actually looking at one of the YouTube analytic things, and when I make a new video, less than 1% of people get a notification, because you can look at the analytics. So YouTube literally tell you through their own system they don't send out the notifications. But thankfully, at least a lot of my videos seem to be turning up on the recommended or at the homepage for people at the moment, which means I'm actually getting a lot more views than normal. But again, the problem is with YouTube is so much of it is out of your control. Well, I don't like people with Nazi imagery in their profile pictures. I think that should be fucking obvious. So if somebody has the SS symbol in their picture, they can fuck right off. The Totenkopf, whatever it's called, but yeah. It'd be the same for other ideologies as well, but, basically genocidal maniacs having their symbol as your profile picture makes you a bit of a cunt, doesn't it? So yeah. I'm all achy all over. My legs actually feel really weak as well. That's the weirdest thing at the moment is, your legs feel like if you stand up, they might go from underneath you. Like you've had weight on them for ages, which obviously isn't the case because I've been sitting in a chair and I've been walking around to do stuff, but my legs just feel really kind of achy and tired. Yeah, are we the bad guys? Are we the baddies, whatever it is from Mitchell and Weblook? But I'd rather not talk about the SS or stream because then I'll probably get demonetized. But the therapy is still working well for those of people interested. Let me see what the dose is at now. So I'll put the back cover back on it. But yeah, it means death's head. We're now at 33.6 millisieverts, which means if you assume 2 millisieverts is what most people get annually background radiation, 32 would be 16. So we're about 16 to 17 years worth of background radiation put on it in less than 2 weeks now. Something cool I will show people because I always find stuff cool. Some more of my fluorescent Autonite came, so I've got it with some Torbanite in here. Let me just get the thing on there. There we go. Now, hopefully you'll see how it glows green on there. What you can also see is all the little bits of green dust in there, which is why you definitely need to keep these in this sort of container. It was quite good. The seller sent me this container for free because I've been buying quite a lot from him recently. So, yeah, radioactive Autonite. There's a bit of Torbanite in there as well and some uranophone. But, yeah. Oh, you can actually see the glow on webcam from that angle. There you go. It still looks better to the human eye than it does to the webcam, because on the webcam it looks too blue. It looks really, really bright green, like neon green to the human eye. But if I do that there, you can actually see. There you go. Yep, so to show you this, I've closed the beta window on it. But if I put this back to regular mode, in terms of gamma coming off of this, if I just put that like there on that so you can read it. Can I get it to all just go? It's a bit annoying with the angle, but so 53. Oh, it's 23, isn't it? Because I'm reading it backwards. But it's going to partially depend on how you what bits go near the GM tube on it. But is that 20 or 50 there? 20. But yeah, the point is that you get quite a bit of gamma energy coming off of this. Although, again, I'll just say this because people like to make a fuss about it. The issue is, of course, with using a calibrated Geiger counter on something it's not calibrated for, is it won't give you a correct reading because it's calibrated for something. All Geiger counters have that issue. It's just I'm getting fed up with seeing YouTube comments where people don't understand how Geiger counters work, constantly saying about that. Not particularly from any of you guys. It's just when you go on videos and somebody is saying this Geiger counter is good or bad on a review because they don't understand how Geiger counters work because of calibration. Rufus, because I collect Geiger counters and stuff like that, and it's interesting. If you don't see the point, then, you know, don't collect it yourself. But you could say that about anything, couldn't you? I don't know, because I've only got the Israeli older Type 80 filters, but they're meant to be very good, the newer ones. But again, what are you saying that based on the quality of the outside plastic? But supposedly the filter medium inside is very good. Favorite video game, Oddworld Abe's Exodus, and that's getting the remake coming out very soon, isn't it? Oh, I am looking forward to Mount & Blade Bannerlord. Well, exactly that nonsense. But we don't talk about politics on here. Person pretending to be an FBI officer, just because it's very a divisive subject. But you know, if it ends up being relevant because of, you know, like non-political reasons, just because like war stuff, all the politics is around something very specific to the channel. Like if there was a law on collecting certain types of Geiger counters or whatever, it might get brought up, like knife laws. But otherwise, we don't talk about politics just because it pisses people off. Right. Google GP5 gas mask sizing thing, and you'll get that bit of the picture in the background. Use the sizes on that and then translate it into what the equivalent sizes are for other masks, because that's the only way you can really tell. But it's a bit like shoe sizes. You can get random ones which don't fit, you know, even though you should fit them based on your other shoes. You won't actually fit certain sizes of shoes or boots. It's like that. You just have to hope you're lucky, really, when you get sizes. Huh, maybe, Richard, they're actually basing it on what you watch now on YouTube, not random e-celeb bullshit. I don't know. I don't have a PMKS. I've heard they're like very good PMK, but that might be a good price for it if it's like a really new mask, but I don't have one, so I can't really tell you if it's any good or not personally. I've got a Dacia Sandero. Also, based on people asking non-stop for it for years, it wasn't the fact that people were asking for it non-stop, it was just the fact that I'd never seen one for a good price before. I finally got round to ordering a Romanian M85 gas mask, and it comes with a complete kit because I found sellers selling them in Romania with decent postage prices, selling the whole kit for reasonable amounts. Oh, thank you very much, Oi. If you've got a Discord ID, post it and I can add you to the server. Donators. But yeah, there was finally somebody who actually was selling them for decent prices and all that, you know. So I've got one now on order, because the reason I hadn't bought a Romanian M74 M85 before, even though people kept asking for ages and ages, was just because I'd very rarely see them on eBay at sensible prices. And when you know a mask's not really worth, you know, a silly amount, there's no point buying it for a silly amount unless you really, really want it. I was like, oh, it's a Draeger M65 clone that costs like £60. I'm not going to pay that for it. But now for like 30 quid, I've been able to get a, you know, M85, which is basically a Draeger M65 license copy, but with a drinking tube system in it, and the satchel, and a load of the other accessories. That's not a bad price. eBay for most of them. The ones that are actually like signs, the posters that are printed off is called having a printer and getting an image and printing it with a printer. Yeah, hopefully it'll be good. I'm hoping they've got a better peripheral seal than the regular M65, because otherwise it won't fit me. But yeah, we'll see. In terms of what I paid for it, my XM28 that I've managed to break now, I think, But in terms of like the value of it, it's maybe my Avon M50 or things like my old C7 masks, because they're very rare, the C7s. I do amateur dramatics, as I was saying earlier, because I've actually got the performance this coming Friday and Saturday. So not this week, as in next week, so in like 7 days' time. I got a rehearsal Sunday for that last big rehearsal. But mostly all the stuff you'd see on the channel, you know, like, I mean, obviously I enjoy watching films and playing video games as well, but in terms of hobbies I've got of collecting things and finding info out on them, Geiger counters, gas masks, swords, you know, rifles, all that. That's cool. So hopefully the M85 would be even better. But yeah, when I was looking, a lot of the M74s are almost the same price as the M85. So, you know, it's a no-brainer to get the more advanced, more modern mask with all the accessories rather than just getting a mask on its own in sort of a tatty condition that a lot of the photos look like from people selling them. Well, the Shums or the PMG, most of the Soviet masks have that style look to them, because it's just where the voice diaphragms on like the nose section and they're kind of skull looking. I have sort of, Sam, but I've got a new video I filmed the other day you might like, sort of on that, because, you know, I've done videos, you might know, I've done videos that got really popular called like things movies and games get wrong about gas masks and respirators, those sort of things. Sorry, I'm a bit, you know, wheezy now as well, and yawny. What I've did yesterday is, it's not live for about a month, but I filmed a video called What Things Movies and Games Get Wrong About Radiation, talking about like a load of the really common sort of cliche tropes in films and games about how radiation works. There was one I actually forgot to include in there, and that's that there's no real life radaway. You know, in real life there is not some magic tablet you can take after you've been exposed to radiation, so you'll be fine. There's stuff like you know, a stable iodine you can take to stop iodine horribly going into your thyroid's iodine 131, but there's no actual magic radaway pills in real life. Oh, yeah, I was going to say, so it is your end, isn't it, Laser? Because sometimes I'm never sure when I'm watching a stream, is it my end or the person streaming it? But yeah, that's annoying. But yeah. So it's just around that time, is it because everybody goes on the internet before work or something? Because I know where I live in my street, at certain times of day, the internet speeds just go to shit. I guess because it bottlenecks where everybody just wants to go on once they got home from work or before work. I've done a video on that already. Again, the thing is with the PRWN, that's like the shums, isn't it, for rocket crews? It's the same I've said about all the masks I don't have. If they turn up for a good price, yes. If it's very expensive, then no. Because the thing is, you have to think reasonably what you could do with the money. And because obviously I have to keep getting stuff to do videos on, and, you know, I've got other bills to pay. So that's why, you know, I have a massive thank you to anybody that supports me on Patreon, Super Chat, you know, buys the merch. Look, there's the merch. Because, you know, I get money from it, which I can put towards these items rather than using all my wages towards it. That's like one of the factors to consider, that if something's unreasonably priced, there's no point really going for it, because then, although I've got the item to do a video on, it would take years and years, assuming YouTube doesn't even demonetize it, to make the item's value back. Whereas, you know, if you get a mask for a decent price or whatever, or a Geiger counter for a decent price, any of that gear, it's definitely a lot more worth it. Oh, a Brexit question. Well, that's politics, but seeing as you included EU in it, might do. I really don't know, because I don't know if the politicians know, and they certainly don't make any of this clear to normal people. I'm hoping it will restrict, like it will cut down on some of the restrictions we currently have, where we have to follow both UK and EU laws on certain things. But I really couldn't tell you with gas masks, because the one I found really bloody stupid was when I wanted to buy a cesium-137 check source for a Geiger counter, you know, for testing radiation equipment. So basically, a sealed check source. The video went live on it the other day, but I know a lot of people aren't that interested in sealed check sources. So basically, the really annoying thing is, sealed check sources are the safest way of having like a radioactive source to check. You know, check Geigers, because it's basically where it's an incredibly well measured out piece of stuff. You know when it was produced, so you know what the half-life is on it, and they've got it sealed in like plastic or sealed in acrylic or whatever. So the idea is that you can't physically contaminate anything with the check source because the check source won't flake apart because it's sealed, and you know exactly how strong it is, you know, and all that sort of stuff. So it's a lot safer than literally buying stuff like, you know, uranium or especially radium containing stuff like I've got a lot of now. But weirdly, the EU laws are really restrictive on check sources. British laws aren't, but because we're still part of the EU at the moment, a lot of it still comes down on you. So what I had to do is, for way more money, buy a really weak check source from the States because they can legally ship it to the UK and get it to you. And you're not breaking any UK laws doing that. But if you're in an EU member state, you're not allowed to buy locally because they're not allowed to send it through EU countries. So, you know, it's all bullshit like that. The Israeli M15 I like, yeah. Oh, that sounds good, Richard. I mean, I know there's pros and cons to all different types of microphones, aren't there? I'm not really into microphones enough. The only good microphone I have really is the one on my camcorder at the moment and my blue microphone, like the blue Snowball. That's the one I use when I stream. All right, see you later. Have a good evening. Hopefully I'll feel well soon. I'm sure I will. What's that then, farm lad? Oh, Zuckerman helmet. Yeah, I know what that is. It's like the weird one from World War II, isn't it? For like the civil defense kind of air raid people. But yeah, when you said just a Zuckermay, I was like, what's that? Should I know what that is? But yeah, I know what a Zuckerman helmet is. PMK3, well, I did a video review of it, didn't I? Where I literally told you what I thought of the PMK3 in the video reviewing it. So did you watch that? If not, I mean, I'd be more annoyed if you watched the review and you still don't know what I thought about it. But yeah, I definitely prefer the CT12 to the PMK. Look how bulky the PMK is for some reason. These are both medium-sized masks as well. Right. My opinion on it is, because you didn't watch the review and I don't expect you to watch it now, it's just funny thing is I just want to take the filter off of the CT12 a second. So the CT12 would almost actually fit inside the PMK. That's how big, bulky the PMK is, unnecessarily bulky. Is that my opinion on the PMK3 is much better than the PMK1. I assume it's better than PMK2. I don't know why they wanted to reinvent the wheel doing the new filter system for it because it's completely unnecessary. It would have been better in 40mm Ghost. But PMK3, better than PMK1, probably better than PMK2. Still not really a great mask. And I know that they're doing different PMKs now as well, aren't they, Russia? But again, it's better than the previous PMK, but it's still not really a good mask. That's my opinion. But yeah, so something like the CT12 is much better, easy, comfortable to adjust straps. Why do Russians still use that horrible strap system, I don't know. You know, this has good enough voice diaphragms. You can clip radios to it. Takes standard filters, a proper oral nasal cup. I mean, this could be a better oral nasal cup because they could put little valves inside the oral nasal cup there. You know, there's always room for improvement. They could have put like a little valve there, a little valve there. But, you know, this is a much better mask. This is why this is my favorite mask, just because it does everything I want in a mask. And, you know, different people have different preferences, but please, if you're a mask designer, do easy to adjust straps. Don't do this where you have to slowly feed a strap through a plastic buckle system that seems really fragile, and then, you know, you can't adjust the mask when it's on, so you basically have to spend ages when you first get the mask working out what's the most comfortable strap position for your head. I'm not a fan of the GSR, although it's apparently improving in quality since Avon have started manufacturing them under license rather than the Scott ones. But the problem was with the GSR, Britain wanted the M50, but the GSR was cheaper, so they went with the GSR and then had loads of problems with it. The GSR could be a good mask if it was made to a good standard, so hopefully the Avon ones are. But my problems I've had with the GSR is it's just got a lot of unnecessary bulk, weight, you know, all that kind of stuff. No, I wish I did Sad Putin. If I had a bunker, I'd stream from it, and I'd live in it. Any full face respirator with a good filter, it's not really all that complicated with masks. It's essentially they work. You know, if you've got a full face one, it's in good condition, you've got the right filter on it. Well, I don't know what Cougar means by that. Why no have more American masks? If you're saying, why don't I have more American masks? There's a very simple reason for that. And unfortunately, it shouldn't be the case from what Chris seems to have worked out. there's a thing called ITAR, which is where America is banned from, like, American citizens are banned from selling certain things abroad due to like certain laws on arms reduction and like American military technology. So the issue is lots of American masks I should be able to just buy on eBay if the seller offers international postage and be able to get it, because a lot of them aren't actually on the ITAR list. The problem is the people who work in customs and all that shit do not know. All right, cool, Mike. I'll have a look. I don't know if I saw your other comment. Let me scroll up and see if I can see it. Oh, there we go. Hello, just on setting up for a video later. Not a live stream, but a 2-hour-long premiere of a live chat starting at 10 p.m. using obvious. Right, cool. I'll check that out if I remember, Mike. If you saw my Twitter message, I think I've got the flu at the moment. So like I was saying to you yesterday, definitely got the man flu because I've had a sore throat today, headache that's just not gone all day. Taking paracetamol reduces the pain level, but it's been there all day. I didn't get up till like nearly 4 p.m. today just because I was completely exhausted, zonked out, and I still don't feel awake. I've been coughing, but at least I can take cough medicine for that, and that suppresses the cough because it's a dry cough. So, there's no point not taking cough medicine for that because it's not like I'm bringing up phlegm. Very achy limbs as well. If I want to get an Austrian mask, I can just buy one on eBay at some point, but... Yeah, but the problem is, Cougar, as I've said before, like I just literally said, the problem is they don't necessarily know the laws themselves. So you can have something that's totally legal to buy, but it doesn't mean the person in customs doesn't fuck you over. The other issue is buying stuff from America. You end up having to pay like £20 to £40 tax as soon as your item gets to the UK because of the stupid tax rules from items from America. I don't know if that's UK end, American end, but it's a pain in the ass. And if something costs a lot, the seller charges you $30 postage, and then I have to pay another $30 on top of that. I'm not really in a rush to do it. So there's my answer. Sorry, I don't want to sound shitty saying that, but it's just one of those things I get annoyed, having to explain quite a lot. So firstly, can you get the item? Then it's a bit because of ITAR and all that, even if ITAR doesn't apply to it because of people not knowing the laws that work in those, customs departments, which is a pain in the ass. Then it's very expensive postage normally. Then, also the fact I have to pay tax on it when it comes, but I don't from the EU often, Oh, the hazmat, it completely depends what you mean by hazmat. Do you mean like the inflatable hazmat suits? Do you mean, but again, it depends because a lot of people wouldn't be trained to use a hazmat suit, would they? Speaking of Vietnam, I watched The Killing Fields again the other day. That is a depressing film, but sadly, it's like one of those films I think everybody should watch, but oh, you're ill as well, are you, Planes? So there must be something going around then. The weird thing is I don't know who I've caught this from because I've not met anybody in person for the last week that's actually complained about feeling ill. So, I'm sure I've got it from somebody, but who I don't know. No idea what my favourite song would be. But yeah, so The Killing Fields is really worth a watch if you haven't seen it. A very depressing film, but obviously it's based on the real life genocide in Cambodia, the Pol Pot regime. Yeah, that's what I said, Planes, because that's why I call it man flu, because I do think I've got flu now. But yeah. But yeah, I'm sure it is flu, actually, as I say, based on the symptoms I've had, because I would never feel this bad of a cold. I'd be a bit sneezy and have a congested nose, but that would be it. But, oh well, like I said, at least I've not got too many shifts upcoming soon. So, no, I'll look that up, though. I'm not that close to the southeast, but let me have a look. Military Odyssey, and of course YouTube isn't letting me select the thing properly. So that's in Kent, is it? It's definitely worth checking out, I guess, if I'm in Kent on holiday. But it sounds like an interesting thing. I'll bookmark it, but sadly I'm not really close enough. But yeah, it sounds like a good thing if you're nearby. Cheers, Soren. Yeah, it's weird because, yeah, you have to bunker down, Andrew. Full Metal Jacket is nowhere near as depressing as the fucking Killing Fields because Full Metal Jacket is not about genocide. I think it's a completely different scale of stuff, isn't it? I mean, I know it's personal opinion, but if you watch a film, like about the Holocaust or about, a genocide, it's generally, I find, like the most depressing genre of film, because it's literally about the worst real life, things humans have done to each other. It's not like, a simple war. Like what Pol Pot did is he killed like a quarter of his population off. The Cambodian genocide was the worst one in human history in terms of the percentage of the population to be killed off, as far as I'm aware. It wasn't the worst in terms of the mass amount of people killed, but it was the worst in terms of what the country's starting population was in a percentage to begin with, and what it ended up as, because of a complete idiot, sort of crazy person being put in charge and ruining a country. Yeah, a bit weird having kisses on the message, not gonna lie. Right, I'm gonna block the person putting weird like conspiracy theory or shilling stuff in for things. I do not want people talking about weird vaccine conspiracies or whatever over here. So there you go. I couldn't tell if it was a joke comment or not, but I've said before, like, anti-vaxxers are kind of the most crazy people I've ever met. I'm off in a minute anyway, Random Cat. The thing is, I think with most people, they should be free to have opinions, but when people endanger their own kids because it's, oh, this vaccine will give my kid autism, or this vaccine contains radioactive waste, or whatever other stupid shit they say, anti-vaxxers really are, people that probably shouldn't deserve to be allowed to be parents. Oh, yeah, a lot of them were tortured, Cougar, but that happens to a lot of POWs all over the world. Anyway, I'll be off in a minute, because as I said, I was only going to be streaming for 30 minutes, because, I don't feel great. As you know, if you've been watching the stream and the title from the stream, I've done a bit longer than I thought I'd do. I'm just going to see if there's any interesting comments to end the stream on. But don't forget, if you do want to support me, you can donate via Top Chat. You can donate Top Chat, Super Chat, that sort of thing. You can donate via Patreon, or you can buy merch. Yeah, I know vaccines do save lives. Unfortunately, there are people who have no understanding of how a vaccine works, who think that vaccines cause all sorts of diseases. Yes, I will quickly show you Cougar before going off. It's so barely radioactive now, this, that if I put a Geiger on it, I need to put my most sensitive ones on it to get a slight reading above normal. And there you go. That's probably the best looking bit of the ones, those there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can totally specify that with things like vaccines, there's a risk to them. I'm not going to deny that. The point is that a lot of the things the anti-vaxxers say just completely 100% can't happen with a vaccine. So yeah, it's just because the thing is, right, I saw an image and it looks like one of those images, right, that the anti-vaxxers share that somebody made as a piss take to troll them. But I unironically saw people on Facebook sharing them. And it was one that said something like, did you know every vaccine contains 1 metric ton of plutonium? It's like, vaccines don't contain any plutonium full stop, but 1 metric ton of plutonium you could not fit in a syringe, because a metric ton is obviously 1,000 kilograms, or it'd be in essentially a liquid form. It'd be 1,000 milliliters, wouldn't it? Or be even more than 1,000 milliliters. Can you get kiloliters? If you can, it'd be like 1,000 kiloliters. But the point is that that's probably more radioactive waste than in a barrel of nuclear waste. Oh, all right, Richard. I mean, it wasn't me that did it. It was obviously YouTube doing it, but I mean, the only thing I've heard with vaccines is that some places don't do it using like the best quality needles and stuff like that. So obviously there's more of just a general injection risk with it. Not like a HIV thing, like, because they're clean needles, but like they're lower quality metals in the needle, which can be harmful. But the thing is, it's like, especially when it's vaccines cause autism. It's like, yeah, I have autism. I got vaccinated, but that doesn't mean my autism came from being vaccinated, because autism actually, is a difference in how the brain was wired at birth. You can't physically inject somebody with it for that change to happen. You know, there's loads of stuff like that, that if people wanted to be credible about this stuff, they would say, you know, I have these concerns based on real things, not, oh, my child was a toddler, before you can even tell if a child has autism or not, like unless it's really severe autism. You know, they were vaccinated and then they grew up and later in life were diagnosed with autism, therefore the vaccine must have given them autism. It's like, no, because, you know, it's almost like saying if you got cancer later in your life, something early in your life must have caused it. You have no way guaranteeing that. But yeah, so yeah, sorry to end on the anti-vaxxer note, but it's just one of those things where it's, because there's like, the thing is with conspiracy theories, as I've said before, is there's some where I don't know if there's any conspiracy theories I even believe. The thing is, I definitely can get with, because if you even break a conspiracy theory down, there can be certainly things that you're not told, you know, and people lie about. Because in theory, all a conspiracy theory means is where people have got together to lie about something, and yeah, governments do that all the time. But the thing is, like with most conspiracy theories, is that the people who believe them keep just kind of going down that rabbit hole of, yeah, but the Illuminati or whatever control this information to stop you talking about it anyway. Yeah, exactly. I don't think if you injected somebody in the arm, you could get the sperm to go to the womb, just saying. But yeah, it's, you know, it's that sort of issue of a lot of conspiracy theories is, I think a lot of the people that believe in them, you know, they kind of have this circle of validation with them, where every single thing must prove why their conspiracy is real, and if anything says the contrary, it's because it's made up sort of stuff. You know, and that's why I've got quite annoyed recently, because you start getting all the anti-Semitic stuff and whatever else, where people, you know, start blaming the Jews for everything or whatever else, and it's just the most childish kind of, you know, depressing thing. You know, and I really don't want to be associated with people like that, you know, that I think people should be free to believe what they want, but don't start pushing it on other people, or, you know, getting upset when I don't want to listen to it, you know, because it's that sort of thing that, you know, in general, if you're somebody who's lazy and doesn't work very hard, and then somebody else, you know, makes more money than you, it might be because, you know, they've done more with their life than blaming other people for it. I've never met one random. Well, I've met one person that was, but I think they were a bit more justified in believing it. But I don't think they were really hardcore anti-vaxxer either. I think it was one of those people that, you know, had a kid die when they were young. Their kid, you know, was given a vaccine. They blame the vaccine for it, although I think it was just one of those really bad luck scenarios. You know, but they weren't a real hardcore anti-vaxxer either, and that's the only person I've ever met in real life like it, and obviously they had a shitty circumstance happen to them. If you met one of those ones of, you know, I've had kids and I'd literally let them have fucking polio because I don't know how vaccine works, they deserve to be punched in the face. Not that I'd want to inspire violence against people, but, you know, as I said, the thing that pissed me off vaccines is if it was somebody themselves who said, personally, I wouldn't get a vaccine for myself as an adult, that wouldn't annoy me. But it's because they're basically harming their children, potentially, you know, endangering the lives of their children or crippling their children for life because they won't get them vaccinated against diseases that humans learnt decades ago how to eliminate. And the really depressing thing is, yeah, I said I was going off and I will go off, is the diseases that are now starting to come back because of anti-vaccination kind of craziness. Like my dad said when he was young, when a kid got chicken pox, your parents would stick you in the room with them because, you know, they'd want you to catch the chicken pox, because if you got the chicken pox, you couldn't get smallpox or, you know, any of the other poxes that would kill you or be a really serious threat. And, you know, it's that kind of thing that even back then in like the 1950s, like late 40s, 50s, people's parents weren't dumb enough. You know, they knew that you didn't want your kid to get polio or whatever. But sadly now there's parents who seem to think, thanks to Facebook memes or whatever, that, you know, the devil makes the vaccines and it gives your kids autism and all that sort of stupid stuff. Yeah. What would you call the spirit that does that, Rich? Anyway, thanks everybody. As I said, it's been all right talking with you for 40 minutes. Thanks to the person that donated as well. I appreciate that. As I said, hopefully I'll get well soon. Thank you for the people wishing me get well soon. Don't forget to watch the videos because, you know, YouTube doesn't always share them. But yeah, thanks everybody, and I'm gonna have a bit of a rest. I should be in the live chat premiere for Mike's thing a bit later, but I probably won't stick around for all of it because I am really tired and kind of, you know, not got much of an attention span at the moment just because I feel ill. But yeah, thanks everybody. See you all soon. I very much doubt I'll be on after work tomorrow because I imagine I'll be too tired. But Sunday I'll hopefully stream 8 PM. Right, bye.